Hey everyone, Sean here, and once again, yes, we're back to another tier list. I think I've been on this like tier list kick as of late, but I've been also still on have been on a Godzilla kick as well, especially ever since -1. Man, I just been loving that movie, and then I've been like I checked out, of course, Godzilla Cross Kong, New Empire. I enjoyed that movie for what it was. And yeah, man, I've been on a kick for both of those things. And what better to do that to really bring it together um, than to honestly like merge that together. And I really am excited to sit down and talk about this because it is about Godzilla designs. So all the way up to, of course, the newest Godzilla Kong, New Empire. So this is all data and stuff like that. So I guess in this list, there are some exclusions, or yeah, or whatever. And Zilla is not there, of course. We have Space Godzilla not there because um, I guess he's a villain or something, so separate being. Same with Mega Godzilla, usually a separate being. Godzilla Jr., that's also a separate character, and same with Minilla as well, or Manila, um, however you may want to or usually pronounce it. Anyway, so we have all these designs down here. Geez, I even remember the Hanna-Barbera one, but we'll get to that. Okay, so this definitely will be a very subjective tier list, right? So I'm not gonna try to be objective, so to say. This is just stuff that I like, right? So let me throw that out there before we even start the video here. And also, by the way, please hit the thumbs up for more videos like this, and also hit the subscribe button if you want to see more stuff like this. I love Godzilla. I love, well, a lot of things I put up on the YouTube channel, so including car cleaning and video games and anime and all that fun stuff, movies, TV series and stuff like that. Really enjoy what I talk about here, including, of course, Godzilla, the King of the Monsters, right? I would like to do a Godzilla films tier list at some point, but I have to really finish up a couple of things. I have some loose ends on that, including Monarch, of course, even includes TV series, and of course the films as well. So uh, definitely would like to do that at some point. And but for now, there is something I know of Godzilla for sure, 100%, right? And that's the designs, right? We've seen various designs of Godzilla throughout the lifetime of Godzilla, ever since from 1954 all the way up to, in fact, 2024. So it's been just um, a long time. Let's put it that way. I don't. I feel like not doing math. So yeah. It's crazy, man. It's been like what, 75 years or something like that, up to this point, at least, or 70, I should say. Right around there, right? So, anyways, long time. There's a lot of designs, and I would like to just go through them based off of what I like and placing them and all that stuff. So, anyways, of course, I guess we should just go through um chronological order, right? At least how this is all arranged. So, anyways, the original Godzilla, of course, 1954's Godzilla, or Gojira, however you want to go by that. Now, as much as I would love to, give it that like, oh, it's the first one, it's the OG, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Um, when you really look at it, right, it's it definitely came a long way, right? When you really look at it, and you look at all the other Godzilla designs up to that point, and you go back to this with like the correct light, well, quote unquote, like all the adequate lighting and everything. The big thing about Gojira or Godzilla King of the Monsters 1954 is that a lot of the scenes have been taking place at night. It's very dark, not to mention it's black and white. Um, that is the big thing about that movie. It does a lot of smoke and mirrors, of course, which of course, a lot of old movies are like that, or just movies in general are definitely smoke and mirrors, and this is definitely no exception, right? In fact, I think it does a lot of smoke and mirrors to make it work very well for a film that came out in 1954 and how revolutionary it was for at the time. Low angles and everything, the props and all the miniatures and everything else really add up to how fearsome this Godzilla was. But if you really look at that design, right, like I said, with the daylight lighting and all that stuff, it quite aged. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this Godzilla right at B. I feel like that's like in the middle. It's the OG, but there have been improvements over time. So, although that being said, this one I have to say is definitely one of the worst ones. This is from Godzilla Raids Again, when he is fighting another monster for the very first time. This is supposed to be a quote unquote improvement at the time, on a more technical side of things, or the behind the scenes side of things, because the guy in the suit, right, the Godzilla suit, was known to get it was known, right, within behind the scenes of these films, that the guy would pass out, especially from 1954, right? The actor in the suit had the toughest job at the time, pretty much on the set, and there has been stories where that person passed out quite a bit. So this was supposed to be an improvement. You can really see it, right? It's like slimmed down and everything. The arm, you can like kind of see it with the arms, but really the face. And in fact, I would be willing to even take us closer to that Godzilla. So allow me to take us to, let me see. There is a good shot of Godzilla Raids Again Godzilla. So let me see here. If I may. Yeah, I think it's just something about the face. A lot of times, and Gears looks pretty good, but yeah, you kind of get an idea right there, and then there was that's a funny looking shot. But anyways, it basically is kind of a worse looking 19 or 54 Godzilla, in my opinion anyway. It's just about the eyes that doesn't do it for me. Yeah, there we go. That's a pretty good shot. Yes, it does have charm to it, but when you really look at that, especially during the movie, yeah, you can kind of see, look at the neck and everything. There's the arms, even, of course, in the movie. It looked okay, I think, like far away, but once you look at like up close, oh yeah, even look, they call it Gigantus, the fire monster in the States for some reason. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, when it comes to these like lower shots, it looked great. But that movie just had a lot wrong, but let's just talk about and focus on Raids Again, Godzilla. That's not what we're looking for. That's a puppet version. Um, this is actually a little harder than I thought initially, but yeah, you kind of see like with the shape of the head, it actually kind of looks like a weasel right here, like a weird looking weasel in that angle, but kind of funny enough. That one looks okay. The side profile looks okay, but other than that, when you like look at them like like front and centered and stuff like that, oh right here, this is the shot right here. Does not look great in comparison to all the other Godzillas. So right there, that's honestly, yeah, that's the same exact. Yeah, there we go. He might have taken this from the wiki anyway. So that's really all I can say about it. I think it's honestly probably the one of the worst ones But it did look good, I would say, far away, so I'll give it that. So that's why I give it that C, you know. Anything with D is kind of like, at that point, it might as well fail, you know. But now, that being said, this is from King Kong or Godzilla versus King Kong, I believe, from 1962. This is one of the better looking ones from the old days. I say that, like, especially from like the side profile, looks absolutely great. I love the eyes, what they did with the eyes. I love the brow right here too. It kind of gives them more of that fearsome look. The mouth right here, the teeth and everything, just from that shot alone, looks really good in comparison to Rage Again Godzilla. So I in fact would like to take us back. There we go. I see. I like that. He has that. He definitely has a good amount of girth or thickness to him. The muscles, right? The stockiness, right, is definitely there. Unlike Rage Again Godzilla, kind of looked weird, but yeah, I mean there are some weird shots of him definitely, along with the fact that 1962's Godzilla film altogether um does have that cheesy charm to it, but it's not perfect by any means, of course. With just Godzilla alone, right? Now, man, it brings back some memories. Anyways, I really need to watch this movie again just to really remember it. But um, man, good times, right? Good times. Now, when he opens his mouth, it does look a little funny, but I just like it a lot better than Rage Again, so that's why I would put it. I honestly would put it maybe like instead of maybe A, probably like low A or a high B. So, but for right now, let's put it in high B, and then we'll maybe possibly bring it up to high A or low A's later on. Okay, so next up we have Mothra versus Godzilla, Goji right here. This is an enhanced, like a variation of this one, and this shot doesn't do it justice, honestly. But I think this is a little more of an improvement. He does look a little more scary. I'm more for personally, a more scary Godzilla. That's just me anyway. But I know that they tried to make him more friendly as the years went on, especially during Showa era. um, but yeah, it is, I would say, personally, an improvement. Yeah, Mothra versus Godzilla. I believe Godzilla versus King Kong was the first one to be in color, and then Rodan though was the actual first film to be in color or something like that within the Toho circle or something like that. I believe anyway. But yes, you can definitely see some shots here. Okay, maybe not that one, but this one I really like. In fact, I think this is the angle that they use for that one of the albums, right? For the soundtrack. Man, I love it. I love it. I love the little shake that he does, that little like jiggle. um, as much as this Godzilla was like clumsy, he like tripped his ass over and stuff. Like, I don't think like this Godzilla like destroyed this tower with full intention. It just like, I think it like tripped over and it was just like, oh shit, It's as funny or as scary as it was, kind of, quote unquote. It was fucking clumsy. But yeah, but anyways, I have fond memories of it. I watched this one uh as a child. I think this is actually one of the um first Godzilla films I've ever seen, right, as a kid, besides Heisei and stuff like that, as somebody who, or as someone who was born right in 90, so 1990. So I give it that. Trying to see if we can get like a nice big full body shot of it, but yes, I love the shot of him coming out of the ground. It's just great. Such a great scene. I love like it was like quiet and then the tail comes out and you're just like, whoa, like that tension, right? And then it just pops out of the ground, you know? Um, I think it's like one of the only instances of Godzilla ever coming out of the ground. Yeah, I love the shake, man. It really gives it that like that life, you know? And I love how it walks, how it goes about, you know. I think the eyes were done right here. It's like that, out of all the big eyes that they've done with Godzilla, I think this was one of the ones they did right. The mouth is it's a kind of funny at some angles, but I love the dorsal fins. I think this was and honestly, if it kind of felt like this carried over to Heisei, and which is why I have that sort of attachment to it, you know. And yeah, see, and you can kind of see like that scariness to him, the seriousness, in this angle right here too, which is why I would give it that A, just that extra push, that A, right? That's how I kind of feel about that. Okay, so this is where it starts to lose me here. So once it hit era, like prime time Showa era, it definitely starts to lose it for me. So this one in particular, though, I can't really read that what that says from here, but I'm gonna give it right here. It does have character to it. Um, this is from 1965, when I believe this is when he's fighting yeah, Ghidorah. So right, I think this is the one, if I'm not mistaken here. I love that shot with Godzilla and Rodan. They're kind of just like brothers or something, fighting fighting over whatever. They kind of like robbed Mosugoji, because that's like the only time they use that suit, you know. But I think besides King Goji, Mosugoji. I mean, I could be mistaken, but they kind of did that suit dirty, because of what they kind of did with Godzilla's face, in my opinion. Yeah, see, kind of some of the, like a lot of these angles like this really starts to lose me, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Godzilla. Don't get me wrong, but like yeah, if you really compare it to like other Godzillas, it starts to lose that sort of fierceness. But that was kind of the intention, because they wanted to make Godzilla more friendly, more human-esque, you know. So yeah, you see with the eyes and everything, how less scary he looks. Um, the poses are a little different, but yeah, that's just kind of like what happened here. So based off of just like the final results of this Godzilla, yeah, I'm gonna give it that C. You know, it has that charm to him in a bit. I mean, it is more palatable than this Goji, Rage Again Godzilla. Now, up next, this is from 1967. This is during when Minila was around, right? So, man, he really went through changes, right? Like it's really fascinating when you really start to oh, I'm sorry. This is from Astro. Okay. The Invasion of the Astro Monster. So this is the one. Okay, so yes. This is right. Yes. Now I'm starting to see that. I'm starting to see that. Although I think it might be the same suit. It's just they probably just like spruced it up a little bit for this film from Ghidorah anyway. But yes, the jump, right? That's the suit that did the jump. So I'm gonna still give it that C, but it's like C for charming, right? It's got that charm to it. Very much more palatable than Raids Again Goji for sure. Yep, right there. That's a clean shot of the jump for sure. Man, man, good times, good times. So, anyhow, um, it's got that like flatness to the face, which that's what I don't like about these types of Godzilla suits or designs. And even from the side, it starts to lose it because yeah, like the eyes, how the mouth is shaped, and all that in combination. Especially when you look at it from the front, it definitely looks goofy for sure, especially nowadays. And yeah, see, you see how like the head is just like kind of a little squarish, and then the mouth is on the shorter side of it. The balance is definitely off about that. But yeah, and then if you look at the eyes too, man, they made those eyes quite prominent. So yeah, that the Goji point being is a C. But now yes, here also, I don't know, man. This is definitely one of the weirdest looking Godzillas ever. So I'm probably gonna give it that D, maybe like the highest D to be generous. But this is from I don't think this is from. I don't think they use a suit from um Ebira or Ebira. Oh yeah, this is still this Godzilla. So yeah, this is a clear good shot of it too. Okay, so now we need to move forward with it though. Um yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Anyways, Son of Godzilla, yes. I think now this is where we get to see, yes, this is a pretty good shot. Dorsal fins and all, I think there's something wrong with it. The body, like girth or proportions, I should say, to this Godzilla are okay. But other than that, the face, I don't like the face. The dorsal fins a little off. The spines and stuff like that. Um, let's try to get one without Minila. Although I like the moves on this Godzilla, I'll give it that. But yeah, if you look at oh man, the front looks, man, it is something, It's just something about the face, man. I cannot get over it. Some angles look okay, like when Godzilla is looking down like that, oddly enough. When it's like more up front, you know. Oh yeah, this is a very iconic shot for me when they're going hibernating in the snow. Pretty wholesome, as goofy as that movie was. Oh my goodness, that's a great shot of Godzilla. Look at that. Man. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It looks like a snail, honestly. I don't know why. It's like a cartoony snail or something, like a black cartoony snail. I don't know why I get that sort of image. Oh man, this is a great shot too. Look at the face on that Godzilla. It just looks weird. Like they really tried to make him look like a friendly kind of anime-ish character from the 70s or whatever. Which is why I honestly would put it somewhere in D. I mean, yeah, charm and all that stuff, sure. But when you look at that Godzilla in isolation, in comparison to all these other designs, yeah. So this is I think this is okay. This Godzilla, I believe this is where yeah, destroy all monsters happen, right? Either that or that could be um Mega Godzilla, right? The Mega Godzilla type of suit. Okay, yeah. So this is starting. This is where it started. So destroy all monsters. this variation is, I would say, okay. So I'll probably put this one right at high C, or even like low B or something. But let's review the body anyway. All right, let's X out a little bit here. Let's see. Try to get a good shot of Godzilla here, but I mean, to be fair, I think there are reused shots in this era. So there may be some like conflictions with the Godzilla suits. But overall, I think this is just okay at best. Yeah, this is a pretty decent shot. I like that one. But there are some odd shots, probably because they're probably I think they reused a lot of the footage. So again, it definitely adds to that conflict, you know. The conflicting sort of shots. It's hard to get a good idea of like the body proportions and everything, but it does still fall kind of into that weird squared, not I wouldn't say squared, but like that flat face kind of thing in a number of those shots. And you know what? Actually, in fact, let me go ahead and move this Godzilla. Uh, actually, no. Um, there were reasons why I said my reasons why I put it in C, but it's gonna be lower and into the C tier as we go along here. Okay, so let's move on to Mecha. I think this is starting the Mecha. It pretty much serves as the pre-step to Mecha Goji. Still part of the Showa, of course. Well into Showa. This is definitely better on the better side of it, so I'm gonna give it the lower B side of it. All monsters attack. Oh, this is like, oh man, this is one of the worst films I say of all time within the Godzilla scale, anyway. Um, Let me see if I'm correct on that. Okay, so this is still, I think, like within that Destroy All Monsters suit, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is where Godzilla flies. um, yeah, what is this Goji anyway? Anywho, somewhere in between. But I know this one for sure is the Mecha Godzilla suit. Oh yeah, they used the previous suit quite extensively, which is why in a number of those shots you kind of get to see how shredded the Godzilla suit got. Especially by the time they got to Megalon. So let me see here. Okay, I think it's starting to look pretty promising. Oh yes. Yeah, this is definitely the suit that did the drop kick for sure. Um Oh yeah, see I think that is the start. Okay, so Megalon, yeah, there you go. It even kind of says it right there. At least in a way. There is the drop kick, the infamous drop kick. At least in one shot anyway. Yeah, I think Megalon slash Gigan. No, actually no. I lied. Megalon is where they started using the suit, and and um definitely were able to yeah, refine it by the time Mega Godzilla came around. Right there, yeah. See, right after that, as I said. This is where I think this is my favorite Showa Godzilla, if I'm not mistaken, because it has that right combination of like the fearsomeness to it, but also like that children friendly sort of balance. The face and everything, dorsal fins, the proportions aren't too bad. Yeah, see, you can see like the in a number of these shots that do help with Godzilla face. The jaw and all that stuff is a little longer, so it kind of gives it more of that reptilian look to him for sure. Yeah, this is him fighting Mechagodzilla in the fake suit or whatever. I would say definitely for sure my favorite out of the Showa stuff. This is a little more unbeknownst to me or unknown territory a little bit. I think this is from the classic comics. So I don't have much to say about this one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it into like high D or whatever, just because I am a little indifferent about it. But it's just doesn't really speak to me. It's hard to read what that says exactly, but it says about comics. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that there. Oh man, this the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. I was like kind of stoked when my mom told me there was a Godzilla cartoon on the Cartoon Network channel. And when I take a look at it, I'm like, oh, okay. That's huh. You know? Um I was it kind of honestly just looks like a dinosaur, but they kind of just throw in that Godzilla name. So honestly, I would probably give it the lowest C right here. Even this Godzilla, kind of beats it by a little bit, but it's not saying much, you know. And you have to also think about it, right? The roar isn't even there because I think they couldn't completely get the trademark or whatever it was. I forget the story behind it, but yeah, it just had like a completely different sound. I think it's honestly reused in a lot of those Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like those old classic cartoons. I think a lot of the villains use that sound. So anyway, the sound. I can't really do it anymore, but man. But yes, now we're going into the more Heisei era, right? Some sources say this is still considered like Showa for some reason. It's very strange, but anyways, this is um a bit of a weird case here. I like the movie, but the face is still a little off, but I like the body proportions and stuff like that. And yeah, the animatronics haven't exactly aged that well. So, but um, I did like the M. You're gonna hear like similar comments once I get into the movie of itself when we do the movie tier list. I love the close-up shots. I love the expressions that this Godzilla did. Um, I think there was something going for it though. There definitely was. It is reminiscent of these Godzillas, especially see how like when you compare like that, you can kind of see um what what they're going for. Like they're trying to like modernize this Godzilla, kind of like this Godzilla in a way. But it didn't completely, I would say it didn't completely um hit it home, right? Hit a home run or anything like that. You know? Now, now. That being said, this is my jam. This is definitely my jam. Bio Goji or Biolante Godzilla absolutely, absolutely really started that Godzilla look that I love to this day. I think to me, any of these Heisei Godzillas is my Godzilla. This is how I imagine Godzilla. So, especially by the time when Heisei Godzilla came around to fight um, King Ghidorah in the Heisei side of things, um, I think it really like revolutionized. It took Godzilla to a whole new level. I think, and you can even see right of how iconic that design was. Although 1984, that being said, let me go back a little bit, was like a precursor. It was definitely starting to kind of get things right in a way in modernizing Godzilla's designs. But when you look at this Godzilla, though, the head is a little big. It is on the bigger side, and the body is a little small, right? But it did have that fierceness to it, fearsomeness to it in some shots, or at least in a number of shots. But by the time uh, the actual Heisei Godzilla stuff came out, this got power crept. In gotcha RPG terms, this definitely got power crept for sure, absolutely. Although the side profile shot looks really good. I love the dorsal fins, the spiked dorsal fins. The proportions are definitely getting there. But once um bio starting with Bio Goji came out, oh man, this is like stuff of nightmares. This is like Five Nights at Freddy's type of stuff. Anywho, um when this came around though, holy crap, this took it to a whole new level. Starting from Biolante, of course. Geez, if I can only find a good shot of Godzilla though. That being said, where is a good shot of Godzilla? I'm trying to like. Oh yes, this is. I love this volcano shot. So great. I love the proportions of it. The of course the thunder thighs. You know the quote unquote infamous thunder thighs. The posters are also great. These posters are awesome. I love the whoever did the art for it. Man, great, great. Let me see here if we can find a great shot of Godzilla. Yeah, because like even in the productions, the what do you call it, behind the scenes side of things, doesn't really good doesn't have a good shot of him. It's really more on Biolante, which is understandable for sure. But yeah, you can really start to see like it's got the ears, right? If you really notice, right, he has ears. Got these Godzilla designs have ears, really tiny ears, very odd. You know, don't know why, but it works somehow. It's got all the right combinations to it. It's scary, but also like not completely like I don't know, like you don't like you turn away and stuff like that. I think it has all the right combinations in my eyes anyway. And especially by the time when these Godzillas came out, man, it really took it to that whole new level. Burning Godzilla, I probably put it right there, but all these Godzillas are tied though for because it's the Heisei Godzilla. This is absolutely my favorite one, and when you really think about it though, like objectively, a lot of Godzilla shots of Godzilla always showed off a good number of them show off Heisei. Of course, as of recent, it's been like -1. Here and there is like Shin Godzilla, but these ones were iconic back in the day. This Godzilla was rocking for sure. I think even in fact, when this Godzilla was around in the 90s, it definitely helped broke that barrier once again. It's kind of like that Final Fantasy thing, right? For JRPGs. This is honestly like objectively speaking, the one of the most well-known Godzilla designs. But for me, it definitely is my favorite one to this very day, just because it's just that childhood sort of bias, right? The nostalgia, the rose tinted goggles, whatever you want to call it. But this again, this list is all about me, so this is where I put my S. This is where the S tiers come in. and that is of course with Heisei Godzilla. But yeah, that's enough gushing from me. When it comes to that side of things, we gotta get through it. So, um, man, this one though, jeez, jeez Louise, I'm gonna have to give it that D. Um, I mean, it has things that I'm gonna give it that. I give this one a little more of a boost. Like honestly, like the problem with this whole situation here, I mean, this monster design is great, but it's not a good Godzilla incarnation. It could have been something, right? I mean, the dorsal fins are inverted. I mean, it had stuff that conveys Godzilla, but it's like skinny. It's very, very dinosaur-like, but maybe that's not the issue, right? I think the real issue is that it didn't have the rest of the traits, like the atomic breath, the invincibility, right? And of course the tone of it too. Even the tone of Godzilla in that for that movie was a little off because in the at for like for the most part, Godzilla is supposed to be sort of that personification of the consequences of nuclear weapons, right? You know, the use of nuclear weapons will bring up this someday. And of course, Godzilla just plows over everything. Military can't even stop him. It just destroys buildings like nothing. And when you see the destruction, it definitely looks like as if an atomic bomb, ironically, went off, right? On top of the fact that it has, or he has, the atomic breath or heat ray, or what you want to call it. And this Godzilla did none of those things almost, right? Maybe destroyed some buildings, but it just never had that same level of destruction. It ran away from helicopters, you know. They tried to make it too realistic. I mean, I understand that they kind of would like to try to go for it, but it didn't even just I don't know. It didn't check off enough boxes. I don't think it I don't think it's the right thing to do, honestly. Um it's like trying, you know, it's like what, you know, James Rolfe said, or J Video Game Nerd says when he did his review for this Godzilla, right? It's like trying to make Spider-Man realistic, right? It's like the whole metaphor with the or analogy with the spider web shooting and stuff like that. You know, you take away the spider senses or the web shooting, even that witty charm and stuff like that. That would ruin a Spider-Man movie, right? Same thing happened here. Like when they tried to make them realistic, they went a little too overboard and they flopped it. They just this is like cursed within the Toho like sort of circle because in fact they were really went out their way to make fun of this Godzilla, right? Once Millennium Godzilla came around, they made a reference on the news that a creature that looked like Godzilla appeared in New York, but they said it wasn't Godzilla. They're really trying to go out their way to make this like this is not Godzilla, right? You know, that's what they're saying. So it bears that name Godzilla, but by far I think um you know, it's when because this is Godzilla, right? I have to put in D, but as a standalone monster design, it's not bad. You know, it's got some things going. You know, it does have Godzilla things like kind of vaguely, but um, yeah, there's a lot of that context around it as to why I would put it in D. So I mean, I should put it right there. Honestly, though. Okay, so Millennium Godzilla. So this is kind of like honestly writing off of the Heisei Godzilla, but it didn't quite do it for me in the end. Not, I mean, the problem wasn't that it was hunched over, so to say, but like I think they really tried to make this like the super like Heisei Godzilla, you know, like it like just when you really try to look at Heisei and compare it to Millennium. Let me see. Where is Godzilla 2000? There we go. And check out the gallery right here. They try to give it a little friendliness to it with the eyes, but when you look at like it tried to like amplify the Heisei design, but I think it really in the end kind of loses it for me. It's not a bad design, um, but it's definitely not my favorite design. They just try to extreme like take it to the extreme, you know. But I think it definitely loses it quite a bit. So I would put it at the lowest A though to be generous, but also I um would put it at the highest or highest B kind of. It is better than some designs, but it is something you kind of expect at that point by the time 2000 the 2000s rolled around. So I would say I would just leave it there, but it would definitely stay at the lowest A. So it tried again, it tried to write off right continue the Heisei sort of design, but they kind of just like I don't know. I mean, I understand if people like it, you know, but again, it's not my favorite design. There's just things about this Godzilla that don't quite do it for me. I mean, maybe it's the mouth, maybe you know, there are remnants of Heisei right there, like the head right there, the head shape and everything, but the mouth and stuff like that, kind of things like that add up. Oh yeah, and see if you look at the proportions too, the arms look a little smaller and the head is like bigger, you know. So it throws off the balance a little bit. You see the production side of things. That's funny. So yeah, that's all I can say. Oh yeah, man, that this CGI shot of Godzilla swimming, pretty funny. And then you got this like dopey expression too. It reminds me a little bit, like loosely reminds me of Mega Godzilla, like when he just like has a neutral face, got that teeth, you know. I don't know, just some about it, just some about these things that quite don't add up as well as um Millennium Godzilla, and even Mothra Godzilla, you know, Mosu Gojira. This one, this is from Godzilla versus Mothra. Oh, no, Godzilla versus Mothra and King Ghidorah, all monsters out, all out attack or something like that. The title is a mouthful, but the movie of itself is a mouthful, but in a good way, you know. But I'll talk more about that once we do the movie tier list. But this design is I like it. I definitely like the fact that they're kind of like they were trying to sort of like bounce back to the very first Godzilla in a way, because well, also the fact that it has like white eyes because it was like possessed by spirits of people or men lost during World War II or something. The story is a little bonkers, but that also sort of is appropriate to the tone of this movie. It's kind of a little more unique, I guess you could say, with the tone. It's like bonkers, but also kind of like it's got those ghostly vibes to it. You know, it's weird, but it makes this Godzilla stand out a little better. So but again, it's not my favorite design, but I'd say um not a bad design. Definitely not a bad design either. Although the proportions and stuff like that is a little weird because um some angles of Godzilla do look a little weird. I think it has like it's got like a pop belly or something, so a little strange to me, I'd say. What's a good side shot of Godzilla? Um And not to mention like the movement is um a little more strange. Oops, not that one. Yeah, it's pretty fat, like on the belly, and just I don't know, a little heavy in some places that I usually don't find appealing, if that makes sense. But again, it's not a bad design overall. So I'm gonna go ahead and like put it more towards like the high B personally. I like the ambition and stuff like that. I like the mouth. I like this face better than Millennium Godzilla, but there's some things I don't know. It's weird. You know, it's I would honestly um this is a little tough. Actually. This is these two have things better than each other, right? Like I like the face on this one, but I like the body proportions on this one, and then the dorsal fins are just like, they're okay. They're fine for what they are. I know they're trying to do the extreme thing. This has stuff going too, but the pop belly thing and like other aspects of things kind of bring it down a little bit. So I'm not sure where to put this one. This is kind of a hard case for me. But I'm gonna go ahead for right now and leave it at um the high B side of things. At least for right now. Okay, so this one, I think they changed up the Millennium suit a little bit. And it I guess you could say it's a little refined, right? It's kind of like a better version, I guess you could say, of Millennium Godzilla, but I wouldn't bring it up a little that much higher. But it is kind of an improvement. I like the fact that they kind of went back to the more like the blacks and like the silver-ish dorsal fins, whereas I think when we go back to Mega Gyrus or Mega Gearus, um, the dorsal fins for some reason were like pinkish or whatever. Oh man, this scene pretty brutal, man. Pretty graphic at the time. But yeah, see, it's like pinkish for some reason. It's very strange. I don't know why they went with that design or color. Very strange. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to find a good shot of Godzilla. Yeah, it's got those pinkish dorsal fins for some reason. I'm not really sure about that. Although it's funny because coincidentally, that's reminiscent of evolved Godzilla in Godzilla Cross Kong. But yeah, overall, I think this is just an improvement. I'd say, although mostly that comes from the colors and what they kind of did with the face. It's a little different and different enough for me to call it somewhat of an improvement. So, let me see here. I actually don't remember that shot particularly of Godzilla. Some of these Millennium films are a little foggy just because I wasn't as attached, if that makes sense. Oh wow, I do not remember them trying to recreate the classic Godzilla with the CGI. I do not remember that. That's kind of cool. Anywho, there's a nice shot of Godzilla. Maybe the poster. Hold on. It seems like they're trying to do something else with the face or the eyes at least, but I think it worked fine or worked okay. Maybe they're trying to like match the eyes a little bit with the classic Godzilla a little bit. to make it look like yes, this is directly the ancestor or whatever. Because they kept like resetting the Godzilla stuff. Like I don't know why they kept like just directly reference only that Godzilla instead of like, oh, the Heisei also had this connection or whatever, blah blah blah. And there's SOS, which I think is the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is just an improvement again with the Millennium suit color wise. Yeah, so I say if anything, I would actually start putting this design down here, high B, and then this one has the low A, just because they did those little touches that um bring it up to the lowest part of A. Um, which is still considered good, you know. This is very good, and then just godly, god tier, I think. Alrighty, so this is like a unique case here because this is the Final Wars Godzilla. This one has like all there's like it's like combinations of Millennium Godzilla and Heisei Godzilla, and even a little bit of some classic designs. They really slimmed down this Godzilla and make him very fast and agile. Like, look at that. Very, very slimmed down in comparison to like uh previous Godzilla incarnations. And you look at that. That's a great shot of this Godzilla right here. Um, it's very reminiscent of the Showa proportion wise, but up here, very Heisei and Millennium like. And it's funny, they kind of gave him like a little more like bat-like ears a little bit. Like it's like sharper ears. Claws are sharper looking. The dorsal fins, let me try to see. Or even like that's part looks a little more slimmed down too. So I would say overall though, probably down here in A, lower A. I like a more chunky Godzilla, but this is not a bad slim Godzilla though. Um there are things I do like about that Godzilla design. Let me try to see if I can find the good dorsal fin shots, or the back at least. Yeah, the back, see like the back of the head and stuff like that looks great. That one looks pretty decent at least. Oh, there's that CGI Zilla. Oh man, that's so funny. Of what they did with that Godzilla. The mouth is very Millennium. The way it's like how wide that mouth is. Yeah, see like the dorsal fins, and then this part of the dorsal fin is like kind of unique. And I don't hate it either. I think it's fine. It does set it apart a little bit too from the other Godzilla suits. Oh, there's that one too. That's a pretty iconic shot of that Godzilla. Now again, it's not my complete favorite, but I kind of like it. It kind of has those right combinations of like of Heisei, Millennium, and then like for Godzilla it's supposed to be appearing in 2009, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or 2004. Okay, never mind. I lied. Um, yeah, right around '05 though. Oh yeah, this was like supposed to be like the final shot of supposedly the end of the Millennium era or whatever, you know. Although funny, the poster looks kind of different, and it's a little more reminiscent of like the Showa Godzilla a little bit. And then that's kind of false. The dorsal fins do not look like that at all. Nice close up of the face. Um Yeah, this Godzilla was running, dude. This Godzilla was running. Yeah, see, look at how like smaller the dorsal fins are. But they're like very, very spiny on this one. All right, that's enough time on that one. Oh yeah, this is the um always sunset on what was it? Always sunset on Third Street. That's what it was. Funny because that film, yeah, it was part of what you call um, but also made by Toho. Excuse me. Let me see if this Godzilla even appears anywhere. Um, Showa Millennium, Reiwa, Hollywood, all films unmade. It's funny though because I think Sunset um was kind of like the precursor to -1. Where's a good shot of always? Oh, okay. That's weird. Now it shows me that. This is a pretty good shot. I like the mouth actually. It's not too bad. Not it definitely is not a terrible design. I don't, the legs are a little weird. Maybe from that angle is a little weird. Dorsal fins a little um I'm a little indifferent about it, let's just say. Okay, unfortunately we can't really get a good shot of it. But I say overall it was okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that somewhere like here. I think it's just fine. Could have been, in my eyes, another possibility of like the TriStar Godzilla. It did use the TriStar roar, I think. That little bird-like thing, that they tend to do. The eagle like roar combination. Okay, so now we're starting to get into the interesting stuff, right? Legendary. This one is a very chunky Godzilla, man. This guy is thick. And in fact, they even make this like canonically like one of the biggest Godzillas ever. Funny enough. So let's go ahead and go into Monster vs. Godzilla. 2014. Oh wow. Nice like reference shot right there. You can see like how triangular he gets because like very big thighs, very very big legs, although the feet are very stubby. You have the belly being big. I like the dorsal fins, the dorsal fin designs. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and then even they kind of like changed it up quite a bit for Kong, I think. He's got like gills and stuff like that by that time. Oh yeah, he's got some gills, but the gills do show up better in Godzilla versus Kong for sure. I think anyway, or in whatchamacall, King of the Monsters or whatever. In some shots he looks a little funny, like in the front and stuff like that. But I say it's not a bad design overall. Do I like this better than like Millennium Godzilla and stuff like that? That is kind of a tough question, right? I think it for the most part, these legendary Godzilla designs are kind of right around somewhere in between here. It doesn't quite get there, but I do respect it a lot. I highly respect it. This is supposed to be like the new Western Godzilla design, and it's just big. It conveys that like size, right? It conveys fearsomeness with uh size. That's my 2 cents on that anyway. Just pure size of it, right? And speaking of pure size, right? He's well, Shin Godzilla, man, that is another story. Whole nother story, right? Now, at the time when this Godzilla appeared, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool, right? It's very different, and like the arms look very creepy. The tone is supposed to be just like, this Godzilla is supposed to be suffering and stuff like that. It's definitely a more like a zombified looking Godzilla, right? Like the face looks all messed up. It is not happy to be Godzilla. That's the kind of tone it's supposed to give off, right? With this whole situation. It's just in pain, suffering. You see how much like the red you see, right? And just the eyes, man, it's just so creepy and all that. At the time I liked it, but as time went on, it started to kind of wane down a little bit. So I've grown to think that it's just I think it's good. It's good for the tone and stuff like that, but is it really my favorite? Um, I don't know, honestly. So I honestly I would put it somewhere in the lower B side of things, and the rest of it is like I don't know, these other Godzilla designs, I guess, if I really want to count them. Um, Probably like I don't know, down here or something. If people want to really count them. Um, the context, I mean, I'm just gonna just put it there, but the context is that this is all supposed to be part of Shin Godzilla anyway. So don't think of it like, oh, this design is better than this. It's just I'm just lumping these together overall, just because it's supposed to be Shin Godzilla. I don't really like count these anyway. Honestly, I shouldn't even be, just to kind of make the thing a little cleaner. Okay, so this is supposed to be Godzilla Earth, right? If we're really counting this one. Oh yeah, this was the anime Godzilla, right? Goji. So Godzilla Earth is supposed to be, I think to this very day, the largest Godzilla ever. Counting that this is supposed to be like far into the future. Um, Overall, the anime of itself, I felt very indifferent. And honestly, I kind of felt the same with this Godzilla. Like, it's not a terrible design, but I'm not really wowed over it either. It's just large, kind of like with Shin. So I'm probably just gonna put it right around that Shin area. It's just kind of there, you know. I like some aspects of it, of course, and the abilities and all that stuff are it's something. But overall, I don't know. I'm just not crazy over it like some other designs. It's supposed to be sort of like a tree or something. It's supposed to be part of Earth. Yeah, the face and everything is definitely not my favorite, especially from the front anyway. But it's supposed to be like this ancient looking Godzilla too, so I guess the context is around it is definitely there, but still, it's just not my complete favorite design. But it is still a little better than others, so I'll give it that. So maybe I'll put it like right at the cusp of like I don't know, C. Like right top of like cusp of C and low B or something. I even say like right around here because it lacks the soul for sure. It really lacks that soul. Okay, so oh yeah, so this is supposed to be an improvement of Godzilla, so I'm just gonna put it right there. So not much to say. Snow Godzilla. This is from like another anime or something. It was like one of the crazy anime. I should actually watch it. I've only seen the clips of it. This Godzilla's just kind of white, so I'm just kind of like overall like somewhat indifferent about it. Yeah, it's just a snowy looking Godzilla, so I'm just gonna probably put it around like here. Um, like it was cool to see like a cameo of Godzilla, a big cameo at that. Let me see if I can just find it in the search. Although actually I do like the face on it, but it is a reference to I think the ride or whatever. But man, this film was just or this anime film slash series was bonkers because how much crossover there was. Because it was like Hatsune Miku, the Shinkansen like mecha stuff, and then even Evangelion with Shinji appearing. It's just wow. It's kind of a fever dream if we really think about it. Okay, so it's showing up here. Why is it showing up here? Oh, okay, no, never mind. Shinka Leon. Okay. I like that shot. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like a mishmash of a lot of stuff. So it's hard to say. Based off of the Harry Say series of Godzilla. Okay, so yeah, I can see it, the big thighs and everything, so I kind of respect it. So I would probably just put it like right around there. That being said. I think I like it a little better than Shin. And then now okay, now we have Ultima Godzilla. This is from this side of things. This one I would say not my favorite. It does have some cool things going on, but it's kind of around the sea area. I would even say put it around here. It's got that big ass mouth. I respect it that it's trying to reference like a lot of like the yokai stuff, like the Japanese spiritual side of things, and try to merge it with this Godzilla. But I think the execution was still on the weaker side of things. On top of the fact that the anime is like it was okay, but it was repeating a lot of what Shin was. So to me, it was kind of just like a lesser version of Shin in the end, or just an anime version of Shin. And I'm not gonna even count these ones at that. Gigan Rex Godzilla. This was from a short, I believe. This one's kind of like neat. Um, let's see if we can get a better shot of that if we can. Okay, so I guess that's it. I guess very kind of strange. Enigoji. Okay. Let me see if I can hit the search and see. Gigon Rex. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Godzilla versus Gigon Rex. Let me see if we can find a nice gallery for it, which I'm sure we can. When it opens its mouth, it's okay. Face is all right. Um, Let me see if we can find a good shot of Godzilla. Oh wow, the figure kind of conveys it a little better. The lines and stuff like that, I don't know about that. Oh man, yeah, see. I know it's just a toy and all, but it gives you a good idea of what this one looks like. Oh yeah, they use this shot quite often. It looks more like oh, what do you call those things? It kind of reminds me of like those like Ashura like gods type of Godzilla. It reminds me of like Raijin, Fujin type of like Japanese gods type of stuff for some reason. And let me see. I think I think it looks pretty decent, I would say. It's not bad. Not my favorite design, so I'll probably just go ahead and put them like into probably here. I respect the ambition behind the design. I'll put it in C. Okay, -1, baby. Oh man. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in S because it's very much calling back on the Heisei, and I think it's done right. -1. I love that movie to death right now. So naturally, I love that Godzilla design. I love the dorsal fins. I love the panache that it brought to the screen, the roar and everything. I love like the the smaller things about it too, where whenever it did do the atomic roar, it like actually burned its face. Like you can see the scars right here. Pretty cool, you know? And this stuff kind of reminds me of like what you see like in the sea. Like when stuff builds up. Like you ever like stare at those rocks in the ocean and stuff like that? Oh man, that's a great shot. The eyes, dude. The eyes, something about it definitely kind of like makes it pop, you know? Especially when it's like in the oh yeah, this is a good shot. When it was like doing the chase in the ocean. Man, that stuff is just great. Um, I like the eyes. I definitely don't mind it. And then the how wide the mouth just opens and stuff like that. I like the shape of the mouth, how the side is. It's got that smile too. Let's try to find that better shot of it. But yeah, the dorsal fins, the way they like pop out and stuff like that. Great idea. You know, it definitely is referencing um MonsterVerse Godzilla. Oh yeah, see like the burns and stuff like that. I love that touch. Yeah, like see like the eyes, you see the brow and stuff like that. I love it. It's somehow it's somehow it kind of like I don't know. It speaks to me. It's hard to explain. And the shape of the head and stuff like that is very reminiscent of Heisei, and the body proportions is very Heisei, which is why I naturally give it that sort of bias. Oh yeah, see, you kind of like see it like regenerating a little bit. That's a great shot. That's a great shot in that great scene. Nice side profile. The dorsal fins look great. I love those designs. I love like how really pointed they are and such. The just way it stands, I think in everything about it is just great. Yeah, these shots just really help sell it. I like the scales on it too. Honestly, it's kind of like a another take on Heisei, but I think this was done right. Unlike oh yeah, this is like essentially Godzilla's Saurus, essentially. Oh yeah, this one yeah. There's the smile. The weird, goofy, unintentional smile. But I love it. I love the scars on it. I just love how just um like oh man, that shot is just great. I love it. The teeth, the snout, um, the shape of the head overall, the dorsal fin combination, the way it swims and stuff like that. Man, they did so much justice to this Godzilla. They had him swim. Oh man, this shot is great too. Oh yeah, this shot is just ugh, so good. There's so much good about it. Oh yeah, the foot is definitely on the large side, but any shortcoming with this design is definitely just over what do you call it? It's definitely forgiven. Oh, that's an interesting shot too. You don't see too often is when its mouth is like completely shut. And maybe that's where it loses it, but everything else is just fine. I think honestly, um it's so Heisei that just I don't know. I naturally have that bias towards it. So even even so, I think overall this is my favorite design of all time right now. I just love it so much. It's definitely the right way, in my opinion anyway, of taking the popular design and just enhancing it for today's standards, I guess. Unlike Millennium. I think Millennium tried to do the same thing, but it uh kind of went to a different direction, that I personally don't like. And in fact, no, I mean I don't know. Do I like it better do I like Legendary Godzilla more than Millennium? It's hard to say. I think that's neck and neck, right? But anyways, -1, absolutely great design. Absolutely a great design. This one too. I call it Rose Godzilla, Godzilla Rose, but I know it's supposed to be evolved Godzilla. This is just another improvement over these two, so I would just shoot it like that, right there and there. So not much to say. It's just kind of like a an improvement, like I said. I think the dorsal fins even look a little different, which I like. It is a little reminiscent of this one, which let me take you guys to oh shit. Let me see. Okay, so somehow this is the only good shot of Godzilla for right now with the evolved design, which yeah, you can definitely see here. I love like the jaggedness of the dorsal fin, so they give it that. So that's why it is overall an improvement. On top of that, it is pink, so I think it's pretty funny. So that's why I call it rose. With uh Goku Black Rose. So yeah, that's essentially all that aside from like these like pre-evolutions, which I don't even really count too much. They're not really like there is context, I guess, but um I there is a special exception to it, you know. So yeah, let's just kind of go over it. Yes, by far the worst one is these Godzillas, right? These two. Um, you know what? I now that I think about it, I should probably just put it right here with this Godzilla anyway. I mean, I think it's just okay. Um, but in the lowest type of okay. Like I would give it a little more than these Godzillas. Um, although okay, I mean, if we are counting the roars, I would give it this, you know, but the intentions behind it, um, I give it to these two because this at least feels like that sort of Godzilla where it's like invincible. It walks through shit just like nothing. Whereas this Godzilla, it was like kind of sneaking around New York and just like or this at least this one anyway was sneaking around New York. We don't we can't forget that this one actually had the atomic breath and it actually did stuff. It actually answered a lot of the problems that this Godzilla has. So if anything, this is the more true Godzilla, but still, um, if I am going to put this in the D category, I have to put this in the D category. But the spirit is there for sure. So character wise, it's a little higher up, But if we're just going off of design, these two have to be together, I say. I'm afraid to say. So so yeah, this Goji is in the D. Um, right after that is the raids again, Godzilla. We got Annie Goji, Ultima, this Goji, um, Gigan Rex, and then all these ones, including 84, Shin, um, the OG one, of course, King, GMK, Legendary, Monsterverse ones, of course, Millennium, oops, Millennium, but closely followed by this one, the very recent one, Final Wars Goji, Kiryu Goji, Mosu, Bio, and then all the Heisei, rest of the Heisei ones, and of course my favorite one, of course, of right now is -1. So that's all I got. I know this was a pretty long one, but it is Godzilla, so and there are a lot of designs to go through. So yeah. That's what I got. So what do you guys think of my tier list for Godzilla designs that I like? How is it compared to yours? What's your favorite design? What do you think is like your least favorite design? That's pretty much what it's about. It's like favorites. There's a little bit of objectiveness to it, but I try to keep it subjective as much as possible. So I tried. So this is just my opinion, of course. What are your guys' opinions about this tier list? And of course, how is it compared to your tier list? Leave those comments in the comment section below. I'm always open for a discussion about Godzilla because I love Godzilla and I appreciate different perspectives on Godzilla. We all have different we all have different favorite movies. Of course, our own dislikes and stuff like that, and all that in between. And yeah, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up and the like, comment, subscribe. As always, really do appreciate you guys. And also hit up the links in the description if you guys are interested. It helps out the channel as well. So, but this has been my tier list for Godzilla designs and whether I like them or not. So, or how much I like them really. So, next time when it comes to Godzilla tier lists, I'll definitely try to get around to do the movies themselves, and that is going to be a whole other man. That's gonna be really fun. So that'll be for another time though. Don't expect it to be soon, but I'll try to get around to it as soon as I can. So that's a little heads up. So thank you very much. And hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you very much. Sean out.